in this great project called the Liberator 2 that is designed and intended for the greatest amount of impact to help share the freedom ideas that you can help join. This project can also be shared among every different audience all around the world. We're trying to free the whole world from the shackles, from the chains that is holding humanity back in their minds, in their actions, from living out their true potential, their real freedom that they deserve. So how do we share the Liberator 2? The Liberator 2 news, if you don't know about it, go to the liberator.us and you'll see there's a share page. So we encourage you to share this project in the following ways. It is also encouraged that you find ways to share in other unique methods. You have to be able to experiment and see, who are these people around me? Are they zombies? Are they sheep? Are these people I have to wake up? How am I going to do this? How do I have to start? Maybe I have to find like minds first and then go from there. Maybe I have to start putting out online content and then networking from there. I had to do a lot of that myself. Now, maybe you send in articles, you're sending in videos and art and poetry and all this stuff, part of the Liberator 2, in case you didn't know, but you want to do even more. You want to share the word, or you want to share other articles and already the videos that you already have up and all this great content that the world needs to know ultimately. Well, you can print the full edition of the Liberator 2 news. Every week there's a new edition. It gets emailed out to everybody's email inboxes. Okay, so you can see this newsletter and you can print this and you can share this with people in person where they can read this like an actual newspaper from back then. Maybe you want to put it in some like book drop-off locations, but you can share it, maybe go door to door, if you really dedicate to the cause. But you can also print individual articles. You don't just have to print all the articles all in one, because every week, you have every single article of that week. Well, you instead could print old editions, or you can print just individual articles or individual news stories, individual media, things that people are going to be attracted to, the people you're sharing it with. And so you can also share the articles or videos on your own shows, your own websites, your own content. You absolutely can share any of the content from the Liberator 2 on your own platforms. And please do, because that is going to create much more of an impact. You can share the articles or videos on other platforms or internet threads or chat rooms if you're on Discord or Skype or Telegram or Facebook, whatever it is. Internet threads could be Reddit, right? And then there's Reddit alternatives. There's other platforms as well where people come together. You can use that to your advantage. Even freedomcells.org, you can go to and start up a little community there. We Are Change used to have like chapters, and there's different political chapters as well. You can share this knowledge everywhere because people are affected. The whole world is affected, right? You can share and turn the article content into brochures or small books if you want to, say, hey, this is a really good article, or maybe this whole category of articles is really good. You can say, I'm going to write a book based off of this. I'm going to take this information and turn it into a whole new different article, right? These are just some ideas. You can visit your neighbors with the material, or you can give them mail, right? You can put up signs or bumper stickers with the liberator.us. Of course, there's business cards, there's t-shirts as well that you can get. You can put the liberator.us in the description or on the outro of your videos, or as an advertisement on your website. Have a little pop-up thing that says, hey, check out the Liberator 2. This is a mass collaborative network where you can get involved. Anyone can get involved, right? You can consider doing interviews. You can do these online or in person. You can just start reaching out to people. You can reach out to myself or William Douglas or some of the people who are writing already for the Liberator 2, or people who maybe don't know at all, and maybe some people who totally disagree with a lot of the views that are expressed here, a lot of the passion that's shared here. There's people who are passionate about all sorts of things. You can get their mind thinking. You can simply ask questions and see what people have to say. And you can do interviews about the knowledge presented. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And have you ever read about this? Right? And gets people thinking, put them on the spot. You should have a camera in person if you need to, right? You can donate to streamers. You can donate to celebrities or influencers per se, or mail them material. You can mail them articles. You can mail them books, right? We have a whole resources section. You can be like, wow, this is a really good resource. I want to share this with the world. You start printing some, or you start buying a whole bunch of copies, and you're like, I want to distribute this to individuals who I know are going to make an impact. You can also consider confronting politicians or joining Q&A sessions to ask challenging questions and plug the material. Oftentimes there's open mic nights in different locations. There's areas that allow people to speak freely, and people have these Q&A discussions or panels where they take questions and they're like, oh wait, there's this guy who's challenging the status quo, who's challenging us, who's bringing up these ideas we've never thought about before. You can really spark a lot of thoughts by doing so. So always be sure to record it if you're doing anything in person. But you can also visit different groups or clubs, political or otherwise, that may benefit from this shared cause for freedom by education. You can go to meetup.com and there's Eventbrite, I'm pretty sure. There's all sorts of different event websites that you can go to, and they have all sorts of different groups that may be political or maybe about poetry or this and that. And that's always a way to just get more involved and find more people. Again, we're trying to reach everyone. Okay, now you also may want to reach out to notable journalists. Maybe there's people who are writing articles, maybe for independent media as well. Or maybe you want to reach out to contributors who may be able to help with this project. Okay, you can be like, hey, this is the Liberator 2, this is what it's about. Or you send them my video and you're like, this is the announcement video, this is the all features video. Check this out, this might be really important. You might want to share this. You might want to share this with your audience, right? And that can just get a lot more people involved with this project. Very, very helpful. I would thank you for doing so. And, may it be with outreach or in sending articles, you can be like, hey, check out this article, and also it came from the Liberator too. Now, you can find out what events are currently going on, and you can contact the main editors, myself or William Douglas, or you can plan to attend these events for yourself, setting up a table or walking around, handing out materials. Maybe there's a festival going on in your area. You ever think about, looking for these big events where there's people walking around all the time? That's a really good opportunity to start handing out materials or setting up a table and be like, hey, do you want to have a discussion? You want me to do an interview with you? Just that simple, right? And that is how you can just get the word out. People love watching content of confrontations and of reactions. It's just the world we live in. People love drama. They love it being thrown at their faces, okay? These are things you have to keep in mind, and you can get some inspiration from some of my videos, from other creators, but we got to think and strategize what is the best way we can share this message, but you don't want to also do something that is counterintuitive to what you want to do, okay? You don't just try to hold some identity or be something you're not. Stay true to yourself. Now, there's also, you can reach out to online event hosts with this educative material. So let's say someone's hosting a summit, or someone's hosting an online seminar or webinar with a bunch of people, and maybe there's people you want to contact and be like, hey, do you know about this speaker? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? There's always ways you can outreach, even in areas you don't think you can, because you can reach out to individual speakers in that event as well. Okay, so that's just something to consider, and if you want, like I said, myself or William Douglas to be one of those speakers, well, it would help just to help with the outreach if you just send the word their way about us or about our project, about yourself. Please do. You can use this platform and be like, hey, I wrote a bunch of articles, and this is who I am. Check out some of the articles that I wrote, and they were turned into videos. I'm part of Liberator.us. You can share more about it. Again, this is your project. It doesn't have to be about me. It's about you. Everyone's part of this, right? And so you can consider live streaming the videos or compiling them as well. So all these videos that I make of your content or in general, you can compile all of them, not just compiling articles, but compiling videos. And then you can put them into a whole playlist that can just be running as a live stream all the time. Maybe you have like a computer just sitting in your house that you're not using, and you want to just install OBS, and then you want to have like some playlist on VLC Media Player, and you just stream that. It's just playing 24 hours a day, going through the playlist. I mean, you can absolutely do that, and you can look up how to do it if you want to get more specific, but you can put that content also into a documentary format. Maybe you want to take some of these videos and just take excerpts. Maybe you want to turn them into shorts or 1-minute clips, right? That's something you can do to make a lot of impact, because a lot of people watch TikTok, a lot of people watch YouTube shorts, and people like the shorter, quicker, more impactful content. If you want to use CapCut, you can download BlueStacks on Windows or Mac or your desktop computer, and that's basically like an Android emulator, so it allows you to install CapCut, which is actually a mobile app, so you can also do it on your phone, where you can clip different things and actually have captions, and you can edit and you can make it look all fancy. CapCut is free, you can do editing on your phone if you really want to. And you can turn things into a documentary, do some voiceover, put some images over it, make it more impactful than it already is, right? Because that makes it much more meaningful. Now, like I said, you can clip the videos. Of course, if you do the 1-minute format, you want to make sure it's vertical, because typically TikTok and Shorts are always vertical videos, so that's like 9:16, not 16:9. It's the exact opposite of horizontal, it's vertical, right? And then you can also learn how to talk to individuals who promote political slavery or statism. So politicians, right, in particular, we're talking about, or anybody who's involved in politics. You can learn how to talk to them, or just talk to the average person in general, because we're not trying to appeal to people who are in power, already invested all their life energy into the power systems that be. And if you want to learn about how to talk to individuals, I would recommend attending Candles in the Dark. Now, this is a seminar that you can sign up for online, and it is ran by Larkin Rose, a fellow abolitionist, modern abolitionist, who shares a lot of the strategies of how to speak to individuals who are engaged in this dangerous, most dangerous superstition, he calls it, statism, political slavery, and how we can end that through asking questions to individuals so they can understand it for themselves without getting them too triggered, without off-putting them, and just finding out the best strategies. Highly recommend it. You can also participate in the Never Vote campaign for education throughout each election cycle. So every time there's like a major election, the Liberator.us, we're going to have some banners up, we're going to have some announcements about it. You're going to see we're going to be promoting the Never Vote campaign, and you can start on this anytime you want as well. Just put some Never Vote signs next to political signs, and of course, freedom of speech, public property areas, you're allowed to do so, and it would just spark a little bit of controversy, get people thinking. All it says is never vote with the website nita.one/vote, and people can learn about, is voting really that good? Is it really what's going to help us attain what we want? What we say we want is freedom. Is it really connected to freedom, begging for permission to be free and voting a new politician when it's the masses of minds that really make up this world? We really have to question this. The abolitionists did not use political action. They used what they called moral suasion. We got a lot of critique from that, and there were some abolitionists who were like, we shouldn't do that, but it was the moral cause that led the charge. It's the reason why today in America, most people are not going to enslave their fellow man, because they see it as wrong morally. That's a mental transformation. It's not because it was written down on paper and made illegal by some amendment. It was a change in the mind, and society works quite naturally without it. So very important to see that we can share the same education, but for a greater form of slavery that the abolitionists also warned us about, political slavery. Now, you can send letters to those in political positions, educating them about this material, and please do, because, we want to be cordial with everybody, our fellow man, and so you can send them letters, and feel free to do so. Of course, we do have a file for that you can access on the share page. You just click on this part that says send letters to those in political positions, and it'll help you access a letter that you can send out to them. Otherwise, you can form your own, maybe make it more personal, maybe say, hey, I live in this area and I'm concerned about this and that, and I want you to know about this website, right? Keep it generally very respectful, as I would recommend to our fellow man, because we're all deceived. We're all born into the system. Yes, there's people who want to remain ignorant, who won't listen to you, who may not even seem human after a certain while, but we can not just give up on them. We have to have faith in their healing and in the fact that we can truly be a free civilization, evolving technologies and all this great stuff that we have created for ourselves. Right now, you can also network in your local area with people who care about freedom. I mentioned freedomcells.org before, but that's the website. Go to freedomcells.org. You can maybe start a little local thing that you want to just network with people, find people who are near, and you can start sharing with them these ideas and be like, hey, check out the Liberator too. You can turn in articles and it'll spread around the world, because we can't just have action in real life, we need to also use the modern tools, which is the internet, which is technology. We cannot forget either one. It's very important that we have both because we want to be prepared for what's coming. And at the same time, we also want to make sure we're reaching the world to realize, hey guys, you need to prepare for what's coming as well. And that is our best medium of reaching the world, is the internet. Okay? It's just the truth. Now, you can also learn how to create online media to help educate and further contribute to this project. And a good resource I would recommend for this is How to Become the True Media. This is ran by Mark Passio. He actually breaks it down and does teaching classes of showing people how do they work technology, how do they make presentations, how do they make video content, how do they work all these programs, how do they even use a computer. howtobethetruemedia.com, that's how you can access that. And you can also learn how to make electronic music to help educate through a creative attraction. A lot of people love music. Of course, we have the 24-hour Truth Music Radio. Be sure to check that out. You can send your music in as well. So you can make music on audiotool.com, which is a website I would recommend. It's community-based. It's all free. It's in browser. You don't have to download anything. And you can collaborate with others. I think that's awesome, and you can do pretty much anything you want. You just have to know how to do it, right? Everything's that matter of knowledge, but there's tutorials and there's people online who can help you. The community is very great. I've actually been in it quite a bit myself, so I would recommend it, audiotool.com. And then another thing you can do is you can share our quiz that helps people learn by inquiry. You know, one of the best strategies, as I mentioned before, is asking people questions. So you could just send them the quiz page. That's the liberator.us/quiz. And if they go to that website, they can actually take a quiz so they can think for themselves the concepts of freedom. Am I truly aligned to what I say I want, which is freedom? Right? And these questions are powerful, a lot of questions, right? And so you can also share the compilation documentary. I have this on the homepage of the liberator.us, and it has basically a bunch of some of the best, most, freedom videos online, I call it, right? It's got some animations, an alien comes down to Earth and is like, what is government? And then, you have some animations about the philosophy of liberty. What does it mean to have the product of your labor? What does it mean to have your liberty, your life? What do you don't have? If you don't have your liberty, your life, you don't have your future. You have theft. It's not in your hands. You don't have ownership. And so these are really core, crucial, simple concepts to understand. And those videos and that compilation documentary can be very powerful for a lot of people. It starts off with a bang, talking about the whole belief in authority. Would recommend it if you haven't watched it yet. And you can also access it on a special page called nita.1/docu. So if you want a dedicated page to it, nita.1/docu, or they can just go to the liberator.us and scroll down. Now, you can also share the End of Slavery Summit. This has over 50 speakers and hundreds of resources. Gosh, if somebody wants an all-in-one package with everything in it, they can go to the End of Slavery Summit. There's two ways to access this. They can either look up the End of Slavery Summit, so that's actually a third way, and the two other ways is they can go to nita.1/summit, or they can go to endofslavery.org. That's endofslavery.org or nita.1/summit. As I mentioned before, you can get merch for the Liberator 2, or you can share the business cards. You can actually print this. You can actually get business card paper, print it with your own printer. Easy, done, right? You don't have to go to some website and order some professional business cards, unless you really want to. Now, you can also put our newspaper, research material, or books in drop-off locations, as I said, in places where you might find that is like libraries or beaches, just something to recommend. In general, just become more inspired. You can share whatever you create with us, and we'll be sure to share it around. And if you want even more inspiration about more ideas that I haven't covered here, go to the send page where you have all the guidelines for sending in an article. Maybe you haven't wrote an article yet, or maybe you have wrote an article that turns into a video, but there's a lot of ideas there for video content creators. Maybe you have a business and you want to advertise your business. There's a lot of things you can do. So if you want some ideas and more inspiration, would recommend that, and you can check out my video on that as well. Of course, there's many different ideas and formats to be a part of this project. I want everyone to get involved. No excuse. I think everybody can. You may optionally record all of the above things that I mentioned, or for further impact as well as inspiration for others, because when you show the action in action, other people will start to want to emulate that if it's action worth doing. action that is like, wow, this is inspiring, this is powerful, this is motivational, this is something that can change the world if enough people do it, or if more people saw it, or if I would do it, right? And we can all improve by sharing our critique with others. And if you want me to critique some of your own videos or your own content, I'd always be willing to. I'm going to give it to you honest as is. Thank you very much for watching. This is Cory and Gillette. Nature is the answer. Liberator.us.